Daf Kuf Mem Beis on the base, the Mishnah 5 lines from the top. However, if there was a stone on top of a barrel, Mata al Sida Vehina Felas, he can tilt it to the side and the stone will fall off. The stone is muksa, but nevertheless it's mutter to tilt the chavis to the side and the stone falls off. But if it was amongst other barrels, so that if you would tilt it, the stone would fall and break what's next to it, then we say Magbia umat al tzira felas. He can pick it up, move it away, and then tilt it. We even allow him in such a case to pick it up and move it away. If there's money on a pillow, similarly minar esakar vehin neiflas. He can shake off the pillow and the money falls off. So Taisus mentions, why do I need both cases? Essentially, it's the exact same din. You can tilt it. There's a davar muksa on top of either the chavis or the car. You tilt it, and if it's difficult to tilt, if it'll cause a damage or a loss, then you pick it up and move it to the side. Taisus says, because I might have thought that that's only by the case of the stone where it has the appearance of a covering of a lid to the chavis. But the money, I might have thought that clearly has no function for the car. I might have thought that would be awesome. Next halach in the Mishnah is if there's something dirty on the pillow, he can wipe it with a rag, he can wipe it off with a shmata, but not use water. So there's a different halacha. This is to do with kibus. You can't put water on it, clean it off with water, because that's kibus, it's being malabin. Haisa shel or, if the pillow is made out of leather, then it's not a problem to put water on it. Water doesn't absorb into it, and it's not going to be machabesid. You can pour water until the dirt disappears. You can't scrub it, because that would be considered to be kibus, but you can pour water on it until it disappears. It's like the Gemara, this that we say that he can tilt the stone that's on the top of the chavis, that's only if he inadvertently forgot it, it was left there before Shabbos. But aval b'maniach, if you put it there intentionally, nase basis l'davar aser, then the barrel is considered a basis l'davar aser, and the barrel itself is considered muksa, and the barrel cannot be moved. And before Shem asked, why is it considered to be a basis l'davar aser, even by maniach, it's a basis l'davar aser l'muter, because the barrel is holding the stone, but it's also holding the wine. And the wine has more chashivas than the stone. So why would we consider it to be a basis l'davar specifically ha'aser? It should be a davar aser muter, and it should be muter to move it even in a case of meiniach. Biralach answers, because the wine that's that's below the level of the stone, in Hanami, the barrel is holding both the wine and the stone. But you have the top part of the barrel where there's no wine, is above the level of the wine. That part of the barrel is only holding up the stone, and those sides and that lid of the barrel is only holding up the stone and not the wine, so it's only a basis l'davar aser. Is if the chavis was amongst other ones, it was next to other ones. So if you would tilt the chavis, the stone would fall and break the chavis. You can pick it up and move it away. Who's the Tana that says that whenever you have Isser and Heter, and you have an option of carrying one or the other, what we're matriach with, we handle the Heter and not the Isser. Like over here, where we pick up the barrel, we don't remove the stone. We pick up the barrel, we tilt the barrel and not the stone. Amar Rav Barachana, Amar Rav Yeicha. He says, who is the mandamar? It's Rav Shimon ben Gamliel here. It's Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. The Tana is Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Like we learned from the following Mishnah. We learned in the Mishnah in Be'yam, It's not habayir kidneys beyond it. if one separates kidneys on Yantiv, Beishamai Imrim Bayer Oichel V'Oichel, he has to remove the food and eat it. He can't remove the psilus, he has to remove Dafka the Oichel. Or Beisil Imrim Bayer Kedarka. Beisil says you can be Bayer Kedarka, which means you can even remove the impurities, you can even remove the psilus, it's also to remove it. You can be Bayer Kedarka. Beisil holds that L'tzorech Oichel Nefesh, it's mutter to be Bayer on Yantiv, we're talking about Yantiv, and therefore they say Bayer Kedarka. B'cheika v'tamchoy, and he can be Bayeret on his lap by putting a large sheet on his lap and then funneling the kidneys so that it rolls away from the psilus. Or you can use a tamchoy or a tray or a large plate in order to shake it and have the kidneys roll away and separate in that manner. You cannot use a sieve. You cannot use a kli that's miyuchad for being boyer, but in this manner you could be boyer. Tanya, so that is the Tanna Kama's opinion, and he's not machalik between whether the majority of it is oichel or the majority is psilus, what the rive is. But however, Tanya we learned Amar Rav Shimon ben Gamliel argues, and he says, "B'mad dvar mamurim," where the Beis Hill say that you can even remove the psilus. That's only she'oichel meruval psilus. That's only when there is more oichel than psilus. So what you're removing is the miut, the minority. So you're being matriach with the minority. Of psilus meruba oichel, but if there's more psilus than the oichel, divra kol bar oichel. If there's more psilus than oichel, then divra kol that you remove the oichel and not the psilus. It's only they allow you to remove the psilus from Shimon Gamliel holds is that if there's less tircha, there's less work involved in separating in that way, that you remove the psilus involves less tircha. So that's only where there's more oichel than psilus, so there's less tircha involved in removing the psilus. That's when they say you can remove the psilus. But otherwise, if the oichel is meruba, then there's more, but if there's rather the psilus is merubal oichel, if there's more psilus, so there's more tircha in removing the psilus, even Beis Hillel would agree that you have to remove. So therefore, this is similar to the case of our Mishnah, where we say, do not handle the stone, pick up the barrel or tilt the barrel, and not pick up the stone. So you see that you handle something which is not muksa rather than the muksa. For the Gemara, well, what do you mean? But the principle is that if there is oichel meruba, that's when Beis Hillel says that you handle the oichel meruba, that's when you handle the psilus. But if it's psilus meruba, you handle the oichel. But in our case over here in the Mishnah, you have a whole barrel of wine, and you have one stone. So shouldn't it be less tircha to remove the stone? In the case in our Mishnah, it's as if there's more oichel than psilus. Therefore, the tircha, the effort involved in the barrel is more than the stone, based on the principle that we said, Rav Shimon Gamliel said before, he should remove the stone, not the barrel. Gemara says, no. Hachanami kevan de iboy lemishka. Here, if he wants to empty, when he wants to empty out the barrel completely, he's going to have to pick up the barrel and tilt it over and empty it out completely. So it's psilus merubal oichel domi. Therefore, it's considered like psilus merubal oichel, because over here, it's going to involve, in any event, if he now has to, we say that he will remove the stone, in any event, when he gets to the bottom of the barrel, he'll have to tilt it and turn over the barrel in any event. So therefore we say, rather than move the stone and then tilt the barrel, just tilt the barrel and remove the contents of the wine, rather than remove the stone and ultimately turn over the barrel anyway. I mean, over here, since ultimately he will have to turn over the barrel to get the bottom of the barrel, the contents at the bottom of the barrel, it's more of a tircha to remove the stone and then tilt the barrel, rather tilt the barrel and have the stone roll off and then pour out the contents of the wine from the barrel. Rav Kiva asks a kasha, and he bleibt Sarach Ian. It's very difficult. What is the comparison over here? Einachanami Beis Hillel over there says that you remove the psoilas when the oichal is meruba, but when the psoilas is meruba, you remove the oichal. Well, what's bichlal the comparison over here? How would we have a havamina in our case to remove the stone? Over there, the case by Yontiv, over there, it's a tzarech oichal nefesh. And Beis Hillel holds that boyer is mutter. And therefore, even if it's necessary to remove, to be metaltal the muksa, it's also mutter. But but over here, we're dealing with Shabbos, the stone is muksa. How could you have a havamina that you remove the stone? And even if there's more tircha, but how can you remove the stone? The stone is muksa. Bishlam Alashitas Taisus that he holds that when there's a roiv and a mute, the mute is bottle. So we can understand the analogy because it's not when they have a roiv of the non-muksa, the muksa considered bottle is not considered to be tiltal of a muksa. But according to Rashi, it's not that way. So therefore, the stone is muksa. How could you possibly say and think that we have an option of removing the stone rather than tilting the barrel? You'll be handling muksa. Bishlam over there by Yontiv, it's a tzarech oichal nefesh. So it's mutter, whether it be less tircha, it's mutter to remove the muksa, the psoilas, which is muksa. But over here in Shabbos, there's no heter to remove the muksa. So what's the analogy to begin with? How can we possibly think that over here you remove the stone and not the barrel? Luli the Mustafina, maybe I would suggest that maybe we can answer as follows. The Gemara didn't have a havamin over here that you can pick up the stone with your hand and remove it. We're talking over here is either tilting the barrel. So perhaps the Gemara is saying is, well, you have an option over here. You can either tilt the barrel or you can knock the stone off directly minatzad. So who's the Tana that says we choose to tilt the barrel rather than knock off the stone? Now, perhaps you'd say, well, take something and take a kli and knock the stone off rather than pick up the barrel and indirectly be metal to the stone and tilt it and have the stone roll off. Why don't we say directly knock off the stone indirectly minatzad, but do it not through the process of picking up the barrel, but through knocking it off, tilt minatzad, the stone itself, without picking up the barrel. And on that we say that, no, we see over there that Rosh Gamliel says, over there by Yontiv, I could be metaltal the muksa because of Sorach Oichal Nefesh, or the Oichal. I choose to be metaltal that which is not muksa rather than the muksa, even though it's mutter in such a case, but still, if I have an option, rather be metaltal that which is not muksa. Right in the Gemara, if the barrel was amongst other barrels, you pick it up, move it to somewhere to the side, and then tilt it over so it doesn't damage the other barrels. Telling you, we learn in the Brisa, Rabbi Yasi says, if the chavis was in a storage area, or there was glass kalim underneath it, so if you would tilt the barrel and have the stone roll off, it would break it. What do? You pick it up, take it to another place, and tilt it and it falls out. And then you take whatever wine you need, and then you can put it back into its place, into the oitzer. If there's money on a pillow, again, we have the same principle that it's only b'sheicheach, only if he left the money there inadvertently before Shabbos. Aval b'meiniach, if he left it there intentionally. If before Shabbos he intentionally left it over there, nazis basel l'davar also, it becomes a basel, the pillow becomes a basel l'davar also, and the pillow itself becomes muksa, so you cannot move the pillow either. This that we say you have to shake off the money, you should take the pillow and tilt it and shake off the money, that's only when he needs the pillow. What he needs is a pillow, and therefore we say that you shake it off and the money falls off. But if one needs is a place where the pillow is resting on, he wants to use that place, you have to remove the pillow because he needs that place, so then he can be metalta to move it out of the way, even with the money there. He doesn't have to tilt it off. He removes both of them and he moves it out of the way. This that he tilts it's only when he needs the pillow. But if he needs the place, he can move it while the money's on it and move it away. He has to move the pillow away in any event, and he's allowed to do it. He moves it out of the way without tilting it. If a person left a wallet or a purse in the chotzer, he can put on it a kikar, some bread or a tinuk, and move it to a safe area. And he can move it by means of this other item. Meaning, since he has a kikar, a tinuk, and it's now on it, then we say that the ikar is that what he's carrying is considered to be the kikar, the tinuk. And the money is considered to be secondary. And therefore, he's not carrying directly, he's not being metaltal, it's not considered like he's being metaltal the dover hamuksa. Amar of Yitzchak shachas leveina b'chotzer, if he forgot a brick in the chotzer, menechala kikar tinuk metaltala. Amar v'Yehuda bar Shila Rabbi Asi, pa'am achas shachu diskaya malaya moyes b'sratia. Once they forgot a diskaya, a pouch filled with money, in a sratia and a rishus harabim. U'bavishal is Rabbi Yochanan asked Rabbi Yochanan v'amar le'necha hanichu aleha kikar tinuk v'til talu. He said, put a kikar tinuk and it's metaltal. Now over here, there's another consideration. It's a rishus harabim. So it doesn't mean that you can be metaltal it and carry it normally. It means is that you can carry it pachos midaled amas, but move it as far as the muksa's consideration is, then you put on it a kikar tinuk. And you're metaltal it pachos midaled amas to a safe area. Omar Mar Zutra Hilchasuk Kol Hanishmaitza b'Shechech. He said the halacha is that this is mutter if a person inadvertently forgot it over there. If he was shecheach, then we say that he can do it and put it in, carry it in this way to a safe area. But if he did it intentionally, then he can't. This is not innate, so he can't use this. Ravashi Amra Afil Shagach Nami. He said, Ravashi says Afil Shagach Nami loy. He says even if he forgot it and it was inadvertent, you still can't do this. This is not an eitzah. This eitzah, this kula, this heter that we made, that you can put a kikar tinnik and be metalton in that manner, was only said for a kovid ames, for a mes bilvad. But for these other items, for these other objects, they were not makel to allow you to be metalton in this manner. Abaya mana kapa keep it. Abaya put a spoon on grain. He had sheaves of grain, and he put a spoon on it. So he did this type of eitzah with chita. Rava manach sakina abayana metaltal. Rava put a knife on raw meat of a yena. So, and he was metaltal in this manner. So l'chayra, these things are muksa. And these things are l'chayra muksa, and l'chayra they are holding of the eitzah that putting a dover metaltal, something which is not muksa, on top of it, and then that allows you to be metaltal it in that manner. Amar of Yosef, he said, "Kama charif the shmaitza dardika." How sharp is the shmaitza, the teachings of the young ones. Meaning he meant it facetiously. This eitzah to put a dover which is not muksa. Where do the Rabbanan say that? B'shecheyah. That's if a person forgot something a dover muksa. L'charchila mi amar. But to say to do it l'charchila is that mutter. Now these were not shecheyah. These items were in their normal place. And now you want to use this eitzah to be metaltal and davar muksa when it's not shecheach. It wasn't forgotten inadvertently in a chaser or something of that nature, so it's also over here. So Abai answers, he says no. In a chanami, the halacha is only where it's shecheach. But he said, ilav da adam chashuv, if not for the fact that I'm a prominent person in adam chashuv, kappa kipa lamli, I don't even need a spoon. Because really, it wouldn't be muksa. Because ha-chazal mizgalaya. It really, essentially, should not be muksa. Because these sheaves of grain, you can use it to lie on. Now, it's only because I'm an Adam Chashuv, and I wouldn't lie on them. I wouldn't use it in that manner. It's not befitting for an Adam Chashuv. But essentially, it's not muksa. So what I'm doing over here really is a chumrah. It's a chumrah to put the spoon there. Because basically, it's really not even muksa. And Amar Rava, I know you love the Adam Chashuv, and he said similar. Rava said, if not for the fact that I'm an Adam Chashuv, Sakina bar Yoina Lamali, I wouldn't need a knife to put on the meat from the Yoina either. It shouldn't be muksa. Why? Umsa? Because you can eat it raw. This is soft meat. It can be eaten raw. So it's only because he's an Adam Chashuv that he wouldn't eat that type of meat. It's not befitting for him. But otherwise, it's not even considered muksa. In fact, the more time the chazal umsa, you're saying it's not muksa only because it can be eaten by a human. It's fit for human consumption when it's raw. Halay chazal umsa loy, but if not for that, you'd say it's muksa. What do you mean? You can feed it to the animals. Now, as the machlekes Rav Yehuda and Rav Shimon, if something that's fit for human consumption, do we say it's not muksa because it can be fed to an animal? So Rav Shimon said it wouldn't be muksa in any event, even if a person would not eat it, even if it's not the meat of a bar yana, even if it's not so soft. But he says you could be feed it to an animal. It could be fed to an animal, so it's not muksa in any event. Rav Yehuda said that something that's mukhan la'adam, but it's set aside and would be used for humans, you don't say that it's now not muksa because you would feed it to an animal, because in the normal course of events, you would not take food that's suitable for a person and feed it to an animal. Now over here, Rav is saying that the reason that it's not muksa is because it can be eaten by a human raw. So that's the reason it's not muksa. Well, why don't you say more simply? In any event, you can throw it to a dog, you can feed it to an animal. Elamai must be that he holds like Rav Yehuda and says something that is a mukhan la'odam, that could be used for humans and fit for human consumption. It's considered muksa. The fact that you can throw it to a dog does not take it out of the category of muksa. So the Meimer the Rava Rav Yehuda Sfirle, I'm Amar Rava L'Shamei. Rava said to his servant, Tavid bar Avza, roast for me, he said, a goose. This is on Yontiv. Roast for me a goose for Shari Me'el L'Shunra, and throw the intestines to a cat. Now, of the goose is before it was shafted and roasted, and the intestines were separated. The entire goose was considered to be roy for Adam, fit for human consumption. Now, on Yontiv, once he roasted the meat and he separated the intestines, so Rashi explains that on Yontiv that would be no longer fit for humans. On Yontiv they wouldn't eat. That's not a food that people eat. On Yontiv they have chashva sudos. They don't eat the bnei me'ayim. It's now in the category of something that's fit for behemoths. So according to Rav Yehuda, this l'chayra would be noilet. It would be muksa. It's also the fact that it's not muksa, that he said you can throw it to the animal, doesn't that show that Rava holds like Rav Shimon, Lagabe muksa, and not like Rav Yehuda? More answers no. Hasam came in the Misrach. It's known from beforehand that the intestines would not stay without spoiling until after Yontiv. So therefore, since it's known to begin with that this would bespoil, so Hasam over there came in the Misrach, Daita Lava Me'asmo. He had intention before Yontiv, he had intention that these B'nai Me'ayim would be thrown to the animal, to the cat. And therefore, it had that designation before Yontiv. it's not muksa, even according to Rav Yehuda, it's not muksa. But really, Rava holds legabe muksa, he holds like Rav Yehuda. And therefore, he said that by the Bnei Yaina, that it's only not muksa because it's roy to eat it raw. And Hachinam Mistamid the Rav Yehuda Svirle, and it's Mistabed to say that the Dorish Rava, he darshan, he said, Ishaloi Tikhanas Labesa Eitzim, Lital Mehamud. A woman should not go to the place where they store the wood to take from it an ud, to use it as a poker to stir the coals. And if you have an ud that broke on Yontav, you cannot use it for firewood. It's considered a muksa. Because you can use kalim. Kalim are not muksa. If you want to use it for firewood on Yontav, you could. But broken kalim are considered noilad, are considered muksa. And you cannot use them, and you can't be metalton. So Shema Mino, so you see, holds like Rav Yehuda, because this, that you can't use Ein Masikim Shivrei Kalim, that's only according to the sheet of Rav Yehuda, where it's noiled and it's muksa, but according to Rav Shem, it would be mutter. So you see, Rava holds like Rav Yehuda.